kick off with our session. All right, fantastic. So our session today will be recorded. So before we jump into the session today, I want to make some very quick housekeeping rules. So make sure you fill the attendance form. My colleagues would send that in the chat from time to time, and make sure you fill the attendance form so that you have every single item and material I'll be sharing with you today. Would have an amazing time. So if you know somebody, you have a friend who you know has been searching, trying to land a job, get them into this session. All right. Get them into this session. We'll have an amazing time today looking at how do you navigate the job workplace, the job marketplace to land a job, irrespective of all the different immigration policies that you've had across the UK, the US, Canada, and so on and so forth. All right. So I'll go ahead. I'll lead my session today with my slides, and I want us to have an amazing interactive session. All right. So make sure, feel free to make note of the questions you have. Ask your questions from time to time, and I'll be very happy to pop in to take those questions. All right. So let's dive into the main meat of our session today. So I'll do a bit of introduction. All right. I'll do a bit of introduction and then would kick off with the main meat of our session. If you can also see my slide, just want to be sure that we are all on the same page. Just type in a yes into the chat. Okay, thanks Fumi. Rhoda, fantastic. Absolutely phenomenal. So you can all hear me, you can all see me. I'm just going to spotlight myself so that everybody can see and hear me clearly. All right. So now, how do you get a job or how do you land a job if you're in the UK, if you're in the US, you're in Canada, amongst these disruptive immigration rules over the past couple of months? So I'll be leading that session today, and I want us to pay very close attention because one thing I'll be sharing with you today are the facts. Okay, facts are your friends. In a time of chaos like this, facts becomes your friend. So if you know somebody who's been trying to land a job and they're going all crazy, I don't know what to do. I don't think I can land a job in this very tough immigration climate. Ensure that you invite them into this session today. Okay. Now, who are we at Tenalytics? So Tenalytics is the leading educational technology company, and the focus for us is on helping Africans in Africa and Africans in the diaspora to transition into the tech ecosystem. And over the last 5 years, we've helped over 3,000 people make that jump from different career paths into career path within the tech ecosystem. We've had care workers become business analysts, accountants become project managers. We've had nurses become healthcare data reporting analysts, and so on and so forth. And we do this amongst different career paths, ranging from data analytics to data science, data engineering, cybersecurity, and the list goes on and on. And for those of you joining us for the very first time, I'll do a very brief introduction about myself, and I'll be leading the session today. My name is Adeza Suleiman, and I'm a technology expert with over a decade experience cutting across management consulting and data analytics. I'm the founder of Tenalytics, the co-founder of Amdari, and using these platforms, we've helped over 3,000 people like me to make that transition into the tech ecosystem. My first degree was in industrial chemistry. So I didn't study computer science in the university. I did not do anything related to technology, but here I am today. So how can you also make that transition? And I'll be sharing that with every single one of you on the call today. All right. I've worked as a data science consultant in the UK, in the US. I've lived and worked in the UK. I've worked remotely back when I was in Nigeria, and also while I was in the UK and now in Canada, working for companies in the UK, in the US. I've worked as a data analyst with one of the largest privately owned energy conglomerates in sub-Saharan Africa. I've worked as a data analytics consultant with FITC, owned by the Bankers Committee and the Central Bank of Nigeria. My experience spans across educational technology, energy, sports, financial services, which was where I started my career, and so many other sectors, the automobile sector while I was in the UK. So I'll be sharing my experience with you today as I move on. And again, like I said earlier, make sure you invite somebody who has also been trying to land a job, and let's have an amazing time together. I would leave you with 4 things today. Okay, so I'm going to show you 4 things out of our session, 4 things you can take away and start implementing today for those of you looking to land a job, even before the end of 2025. How can you still make that happen? Or how can you set the path so that by the time you get into 2026, you're already far ahead of your counterparts, far ahead of your contemporaries in landing that job? The first thing I'll show you today would be the recent immigration changes globally. The UK, Canada, the US. Different countries are tightening their immigration policies. They're trying to reduce the number of temporary workers and so on and so forth into their countries. So we're going to look at the facts, okay? Because remember, like I said, in a time of chaos and a time of confusion, facts are your friends, okay? So we're going to look at the facts today. The second thing I would show you would be how to choose the right career path and the high demand jobs. So if I still want to land a job in these very tough immigration climates, then I must know exactly what I'm doing. I must go for the right career path and the career path that will put me ahead of the competition. All right. And I'll show you how to identify what employers want in a candidate. Why is this important? It's important because most of the time we look at things from our own perspective as job seekers or as potential employees. But what do employers really want? If I know what employers want and I give it to them, then I'm in the right place. I really can get ahead and land that job. I know exactly what to do during interviews. So I'll show you how to identify that. And we'll do all these things together before the end of our session. And the fourth thing I'll show you today would be how to position yourself for success, where to apply, how to apply to jobs, and exactly what you need to do to land jobs in today's tough job market. All right. So let's dive in to our session today. We're about 130. I'll be expecting a lot more people to join. I'll be sharing a lot of materials and a lot of links to different websites and so on. So make sure you fill the attendance form so you don't miss out on anything I'll be sharing with you today. Very, very important. All right. So let's dive into the main meat of our session. From the UK to the US to Canada, across Europe, you have tightening immigration policies across board. For example, in the UK, you've had the salary threshold increased. The salary threshold increased from 38,700 to 41,700. It was increased to 38,700 last year in April 2024, but by July this year, it was increased further by about £3,000. And what does this mean? It means that if I'm in the UK and I'm trying to get sponsorship, I'm trying to get an employer that would sponsor me, give me a COS, a certificate of sponsorship, and I can use that to apply for a visa sponsored job. It means employers would find it a bit more difficult because last year, early this year, they could offer 38,700, but now they have to offer 41,700 for the same role, the same job, and the same potential employee. So employers are also reducing their hiring, especially those that require sponsorship. You have over 100 jobs moved from the eligible occupations for the skilled worker visa to the temporary shortage list. Over 100. And what does this mean? It means that last year there were 100 jobs eligible for visa sponsorship. Today in 2025, those jobs, some of them are still eligible, 100 of them. However, they come with restrictions. Okay. Now, you also have the temporary shortage list. Like I said, some of the restrictions includes you can't apply for your dependents. So if you're trying to apply for a particular job role and it's on the temporary shortage list, part of the restrictions you might see would be the fact that you can't apply for your dependent, and the temporary shortage list would also likely be scrapped by the end of 2026. All right. And of course, you now have an elevated you have an elevated salary threshold right here. And here you have an elevated skill requirement. Any visa sponsored job today in the UK would require a minimum of RQF level 6 and above. And RQF level 6 simply means the required qualifications framework, which is a measure of the complexity, the skill complexity to do that job. Okay, so let's say I want to become a business analyst, for example. I need to know if business analysis falls within the complexity level of RQF level 6. Okay, so these are some of the changes that happened. So last year, care workers, for example, the care job falls under RQF level 3, level 4, level 3 to 4. Okay, RQF level 3 to 4. Today, as a care worker level 4, I can't apply for visa sponsorship, especially for those outside the UK. All right. So these are some of the restrictions. So they are cutting down the low level jobs and only allowing the higher level jobs for visa sponsorship. And of course, you also have the closure of the adult social care, like I said, the care workers and so on and so forth. For those outside the UK, you can't come into the UK as a care worker anymore. Some of the changes in the UK. And of course, in Canada, Canada is also tightening the temporary shortage workers. All right. So if you are a student, it's a bit more difficult for you to get postgraduate work permits. So in the UK, you call it your study permits, okay? Your post-study visa. In Canada is the postgraduate work permit. So prior to this year, I could easily graduate a postgraduate diploma for 2 years, and I get 3 years postgraduate work permit, which means I can stay back in Canada, work in Canada, and eventually that can lead to my permanent residency and, of course, citizenship. But it's a bit more difficult because the government is reducing the number of postgraduate work permits issued. And one of the ways they're trying to do this is also by reducing the eligibility, the number of fields, the number of career paths that were previously eligible. Some of them are no longer eligible. All right. So you want to ensure that you select the right career path when doing a master's, doing a postgraduate diploma program, and so on. If not, you realize that you've gotten yourself into a program that when you graduate, you'd struggle to get a postgraduate work permit. All right. They're also reducing their temporary residence to at least the 5% of the total population in Canada. So tightening immigration policies across board. Same with the US. Okay. The US are also limiting foreign student visas and so on. There's a potential H-1B visa fee increase. And this was a proclamation made sometime, I think, yesterday or the day before yesterday by Trump. Trump opens his mouth and says different things. And now he's saying that it used to cost companies $215 per annum to petition for one employee for the H-1B visa. So what that simply means is if Adeza has a company in the US and I want to bring somebody from Nigeria to work in that company as a data engineer, petition for the H-1B visa, I could do that last year and I get to pay just about $215 every year per annum for that employee on the H-1B visa category. But guess what? He's saying that organizations, companies would need to now pay $100,000 from $215 to $100,000. Well, what do I think? I think there would be a lot of pushback and it might not go as easily as he anticipates. But all these things show you one thing and they point towards one thing, and that is immigration policies are tightening across board. All right. And of course, the federal DEI That's the diversity, equity, and inclusion programs across all the federal government agencies were canceled this year in January. All right. So, and I'll give you a real life story of how this affected somebody. So I have a friend who works in JP Morgan Chase in the US as an investment banker. And he got his job under this policy, the DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. So, which means organizations are now, they were more deliberate in hiring dark-skinned professionals, Latinos, and the rest. Okay, they were deliberate about that. But Trump canceled it when he came into office. Even though he canceled it just for the federal government agencies, the private companies also picked it up and started canceling their own DEI, policies. And this friend who works in JP Morgan, he's on his way to Canada right now. He got a job as a project manager. He lost his job because of the cancellation of the DEI policy in JP Morgan, lost his job, and he's on his way now to Canada as a project manager. And before he got that job, he reached out to me and I told him one thing. If you think the US job market is tough, the Canada job market is 5 times tougher than the US job market. So if you really want to get a job in Canada, the best thing for you is do this, get the right skills, show that you have experience, and so on and so forth. So this is somebody who transitioned from an investment banker, and he transitioned to what? Project manager. So the big question is, how did he do it? And this is somebody who got affected. Investment banker, lost his job, but now he's on his way to Canada simply because he was able to make a transition to the right career path. And that's why I started my session today by saying that we're going to look at the facts. And because when you are in a time of confusion, different policies across board, there's confusion, there is fear, and bad news and fear travels very fast. Always remember that facts are your friends. Okay. So always look at the facts. What are the facts? What career path should I focus on? How do I land a job? How do I prepare for interviews? What do employers want? And these are the things we're going to explore today over the next 1.5 hours. And then we'll take a Q&A before we wrap up and call it a day. So facts are your friends. So we've seen some of the changes, some of the immigration policies, which are anti-immigration, but what do we need to do? And how do we navigate the space? So the big question we need to ask ourselves, amongst all these changes and policies and so on, are there still jobs? Can I still get a job? Are people still getting jobs? Do I leave the UK and move to the US? Do I leave Canada and move to the US? Do I leave the US and move to the UK? That's, questions a lot of people have been asking me. But the question you need to ask yourself is where I reside at the moment. If I'm in the UK, if I'm in Canada, I'm in the US, are there still jobs? Can I land jobs? Can I get sponsorship? Okay, so let's look at more facts. All right. Now, like I said earlier before we started, I got so much materials for you. Okay. And you have access to all these links. You have access to all the materials. I'm going to share my slide at the end of today's session. So if you want to receive the slide, make sure you fill the attendance form. Very, very important. So if you haven't filled, make sure you fill so you get access to all the materials at the end of the session. All right. So you'd see where the UK is dealing with chronic data skill shortage. Chronic data skills shortage. All right. And if we click on this link, it's going to take us to this particular website where you'd see clearly, okay, you'd see clearly that the UK is dealing with massive shortage across board. And let me just share that so you can see exactly what I'm seeing. So when you click on that link, it brings you here. All right. So the UK is dealing with a chronic data skill shortage and it's costing the economy billions each year. So again, what are the facts? Are there still jobs? Can I still land jobs? If there are jobs, where can I find these jobs? Okay, so these are the questions we are trying to answer. And so you see clearly that, okay, if the UK is currently in a chronic data skill shortage, could there be opportunities there amidst all these different immigration policies? You'd see where you have the UK faces significant IT skill shortage, the demand for data, AI, and tech skills increases across the financial sector and so on. And we can go through all these different websites, and I probably would just to show you a couple of things. But what is important to note is the talent shortage in the UK is unbelievable. And I'll give you a few statistics. In 2019, for every 100 jobs available in the UK, you had at least 81 people that could do those jobs. 81. 81 qualified candidates who can apply, get into the interview. And if they get the job, they can actually do the job in 2019. Fast forward to 2024, just 5 years after, for every 100 jobs in the UK, only 19 people can do those jobs. So you can see what the talent shortage gap, what the talent gap looks like. In 2019, for every 100 jobs, 81 people could do those jobs easily. But in 2024, only 19 can do the job. So who does the rest? And who applies to get the rest of those jobs? So there's a massive talent gap. And if you go through all these different articles, left and right, you'd find out that there's a massive talent shortage in the UK, most especially across the technology ecosystem. So the big question is, are there jobs? And the answer is a resounding yes. According to the Department of Science, Innovation and Technology in the UK, every year you have 174,000 jobs that are left on field. Left on field means nobody applied to those jobs. And for those who applied, they did not have the right skills and the right experience. So they couldn't get the jobs. So if I know that 174,000 jobs were not gotten, nobody got those jobs, and they're within the technology ecosystem, then it's a no-brainer that I want to look into that space and see if I can get those type of jobs. All right. And the same with the US, the same with Canada and across board. In the US, for example, you'd see managers looking for how to get data scientists into their organizations, data science skills. And if you click on that link as well, just like I showed you earlier, and let's go there. If you click on that link, it takes you to the page where you can see clearly what is going on also in the US. All right. So US managers say that data science skills are needed now and also in the future. All right. And so many other articles around the same thing. 7 data analytics career that are in high demand and how to stand out. This was a research done by Bentley University in the UK, in the US. Cybersecurity jobs on the rise as US industries navigate economic uncertainty. Okay, you click on this as well. This was from the World Economic Forum. Okay, there's probably something wrong with this particular link. I'll just check it out and see how I can get that resolved. I opened this, I took the screenshot from the website yesterday before this session. Okay, so I'll just check and see so that you have every single thing available. So cybersecurity is in high demand. In Canada as well, cybersecurity crisis isn't a lack of talent, but it is a lack of experience. Cybersecurity crisis isn't a lack of talent, but a lack of experience. Now, what does this mean? It means that you have a lot of people running around saying that they have cybersecurity skills, but guess what? They don't have the experience. And when I talked about what employers want, one of them is experience. But the big question is, how do I gain experience when I haven't gotten a job? So I'll show you exactly how to gain experience. And you can show employers that you have the experience to do that job even before you get the job itself. All right. And you'd see so many other, gaps within the Canadian job market. This is from Robert Half, one of the biggest HR consulting companies, recruitment agencies across the globe. 2025 Canada job market, tech hiring trends, and the in-demand roles. Okay, again, if you click on this, it takes you to the website. And you can look through all the different job roles. Okay, if you scroll down, let's see the jobs are high in demand in Canada. The AI machine learning specialist, the business systems analyst, cybersecurity analyst, data scientist, DevOps engineer, IT manager, machine learning engineer, who is also a data scientist, software developer, and so on and so forth. All right. So these are the facts. I'll get the other website, the World Economic Forum, that did not pop up. I'll get the link. Perhaps there's something wrong somewhere, but I'll get that and share with you. So you have that on my slide. And don't forget, fill the attendance so you don't miss out on any of this. So these are the facts. The jobs are there. Somebody typed in the chat when I asked the question earlier, are there still jobs? Can I still land these jobs? And the person said yes. So these are the facts. Now that we know the facts, the big question is, which career path would get you a job the fastest? So there are gaps in the US, there are gaps in the UK, there are gaps in Canada across different career paths. But where should I focus on? So for us at Analytics, this is what we do. Every single year, we scrape data from the major job boards: LinkedIn, CV Library, Monster, ZipRecruiter, Workopolis, Job Boom, UK Visa Jobs, major job boards across different regions. And we analyze to see the career path that are high in demand. We look for the career path that recruiters are hiring for today. We do that analysis and we keep it somewhere. Then we look at the World Economic Forum Future of Jobs reports. And this is an amazing report that I always advise for anybody looking to land a job. You want to read this report because it shows you the career path that are high in demand today, the career path that would grow in demand over the next 5 to 10 years, and the career path that will decline in demand. So I don't want to find myself in a career path that will decline. And in the next 2 years, I'm looking to, transition again to another career path simply because I did not do my homework before getting that job. So we look at the World Economic Forum Future of Jobs. It's released every single year, every 2 years. And this one was released in January this year, 2025. And I'll just walk you through a couple of highlights. And if you look at the screenshot you have, you'd see where you have the job growth and decline between 2025 to 2030. So if I want to get a job and stay relevant over the long term, I want to read this report. Okay. Now, what do I see here? At the left-hand side, you have the jobs that would grow in demand. And at the right-hand side, you have the jobs that will decline. So the left-hand side are jobs that would grow. The right-hand side are jobs that will decline in demand. Okay? Decline. And here you have the jobs that will grow. So it's a no-brainer that if I'm looking to transition, I'd find myself, I want to look for those jobs that will grow in demand over the next 5 to 10 years. So I keep staying relevant. I can grow in my career, in a progressive career, and I stay relevant over the long term. And the jobs that are high in demand, number one on the list are the data engineers. Okay, so you'd find the big data specialists, the data warehousing specialists, the data engineers, and the database and network professionals. These are all data engineering roles. So if you find yourself in a data engineering role, you're in a career path that is not just high in demand today, but a career path that will keep growing in demand over the next 5 to 10 years. You have the AI machine learning specialist, the data analyst, and the data scientist. And these are data analyst, data science roles. You have the business analyst, the digital transformation specialist, the process automation specialist. These are your business analysts. The business analysts are responsible for ensuring that a process that takes 7 days, 10 days, how do we reduce it to take just 7 seconds or 7 minutes or 5 minutes? How do we make organizations more efficient by introducing automation into that business? Those are the business analysts. All right. You have the security management specialist, information security analyst, and these are your cybersecurity professionals. So the World Economic Forum is simply showing you that if you're looking to transition today and you want to get into a high demand career path, and you want that career to grow in demand over the next 5 to 10 years, these are the career paths you want to look at. You have the HR analyst. You have the data analyst, data scientist represented as the business intelligence analyst, the management and organization analyst, supply chain logistics professionals, sales and marketing professionals. So if I'm a data analyst, data scientist today, I can rest assured that I'm in a career path that is not just high in demand, but will keep on growing. These are the facts. Okay. So the link to the World Economic Forum Future of Jobs, the latest one, is on my slide. You would have that so you can go to the reports, download the reports, and read the report yourself. And that you'd see a lot of insights where you have a direction to choose a career path you are interested in and follow that career path through. And this is the very important step one you have to take. You don't get into a career path because my friends just got a job as a HR analyst, or my friend just got a job as a business analyst. So because of that, I want to also become a business analyst. No, you must follow a methodical, approach to getting into that career path. You have the data engineers again listed as data architects. You have the HR analyst, and so on and so forth. The project managers, but this time around, not your conventional project managers, but your agile project managers. Agile, which means your IT project managers within the tech ecosystem. So not your traditional project managers who focus only on the waterfall methodology. You want to get the skills to work in an agile environment using the agile methodology and all its frameworks, the Scrum framework, the Kanban, the Lean, the SAFe framework, and so on and so forth. All right. Now, we looked at the World Economic Forum and we saw clearly the direction of where the jobs are headed if I want to transition today. And we didn't stop there. We now look to regionally into the different regions, the UK, the eligible occupations for the skilled worker visa. We looked at the US, the job titles with the highest H-1B acceptance rates. In Canada, the provincial nominee programs with the priority streams. That'll give you accelerated pathways to provincial nominations. We looked at the AAIP, the Alberta Advantage Immigration Program, Saskatchewan Tech Pathway, the BC Tech Pilots, and so many of them. And 8 career paths stood out across all the different career paths that are in high demand. 8 career paths stood out. Now, why am I insisting on 8, or why am I highlighting just 8? There are more career paths that are in high demand, even according to the World Economic Forum, if we go back to that report. However, not all these career paths are easy to get into. For example, you have robotics engineers as one of the career paths that would grow in demand over the next 5 to 10 years. But how easy is it to get into robotics? It will probably take you another 18 months to 2 years or even longer to do a master's in electronics engineering, or even do a little bit more to find yourself in that career path. So because a career path is high in demand, does not mean that it is relatively easy to get into. So we added some filters to see the career path that are not just high in demand, but they are easy to learn, easy to get into, and they have high and rewarding salaries. An 8 career path came into play. You have the business analyst career path, the data analyst, the data scientist, the agile project manager, scrum master, the data engineer, the cybersecurity analyst, the HR analyst, and last but not the least, the financial analyst. And these are the 8 career paths across the analysis we had done, the World Economic Forum, and looking at the different regions for the different career paths that would give you accelerated pathways to visa sponsorship if you're in the UK, because they are eligible, to H-1B petitions. If you're outside the US, you want to get into the US to get a job. Provincial accelerated pathways for provincial nominee programs if you're in Canada. And these are the 8 career paths you want to find yourself in. So you want to land a job today amidst all the immigration policies, the tightening of immigration across the different regions. You want to focus on career path that would land you that job very fast. And these are the 8 career paths. And for those in the UK specifically, all right, you want to look at, when you look at the eligible occupations for the skilled worker visa, these 8 career paths would pop up. So what I've done is I've also kept all the codes for you. All right. So, and I'll show you how to do that and how to check easily. Okay. For example, the code for the data analyst, the code for the data engineer, all you need to do, I have the link right here. I'm just going to share, I'll share the link with you, but all you need to do is click on this link, for example. It takes you to the website, the UK government website, where you get to see the skilled worker visa eligible occupations, the most recent updates on the 22nd of July. Okay. Now I want to see, for a data engineer or a business analyst, what job code do I need to focus on? All right. So I go to 2133, for example. So I scroll all the way to 2133. Okay. So let's scroll down. 2133. Okay. So I see the IT business analysts, the architects, the system designers, and so on and so forth. And within this particular job category, you have the data architects, the data engineers, the IT business analysts, IT solutions architects, and so on. And then at the right-hand side, what do you see? Higher skilled. So there are 3 categories you want to focus on. Okay. And like I said earlier, always remember, facts are your friends when it comes to confusion. You don't know what to do. How do I apply? Are these jobs eligible? And so on. There are 3 categories. You have the higher skilled, the medium skilled, and ineligible. Higher skilled means this career path is eligible for sponsorship without any restrictions, 0 restrictions. Medium skilled means this career path is probably on the temporary shortage list. It is eligible for sponsorship, but it has restrictions, some restrictions. One of them could be you can't apply with a dependent and so on and so forth. Then you have ineligible. Ineligible simply means this career path is not eligible for sponsorship. Okay, so these are the 3 categories you want to navigate your way around. All right. So if you look at the code 2135, that's for the cybersecurity professionals. You'd see at the right-hand side, higher skilled, which simply means eligible for sponsorship without any restrictions. And you see the different job titles, possible job titles around the cybersecurity career path. So I want us to do something very quickly. Okay, we've seen the career path that are in high demand. We know clearly that if I want to get a job today in a career path that would easily land me that job, there are 8 of them. Okay, I'm going to share a link into the charts, and I want you to click on that link and fill the form. Okay. Now, this is a way for you to check and find the career path that suits you. So you're not just guessing. It's going to take your past experience, what you like doing, and help you recommend the career path that is best for you to take. Okay, so I want everybody to take this exercise. I'm going to copy the link. I'm going to drop the link in the chat. Just give me 1 second. I'll drop the link in the chat. And when I do that, make sure you fill, and then you get to see the career path that is best suited to your own direction, or the career path that would be best suited for you. Okay, so I've dropped the link in the chat. Just go ahead and click that and quick add answer. I'll answer it with you so you see how it runs and exactly what you get to see. If you are joining this session with your laptop, you can use your mobile phone and scan the QR code. If you scan the QR code, it takes you to that particular page. So I'm going to click on this link and let's see where it takes us to. All right. Click on that and it takes us. Okay. So this is what you'd see. You're not sure of the career path that suits your personality. So it's just a 3-minute quiz, very sharp, and you'd see exactly where you stand. Okay. And I want you to type it into the chat when you find that career path. So you click on get started. Okay. Let's go. Enter your details, your name. Okay, I'm just going to enter my name. Okay. Yeah, you select that, click on next. So how do you feel in group settings or team discussions? Are you comfortable in team discussions in a group setting? How do you feel? I would say I'm selective. I like people, but I need a balance. Okay. So select the one that best suits your personality. If you're somebody that likes to work in a group, select that. If you don't like to work in a group, you like to work solo in isolation, you like to work in front of your computer, you don't want to talk to anybody and so on, select the option that best suits your personality. Okay. So I'm going to click on that. What best describes your current or most recent job? Let me see. For me, I'll select so let me select something random. Okay, customer service, retail. I'll just select that. All right. Which of these sounds most like you? Do you like solving problems? Do you prefer working with data? Do you enjoy protecting systems? Select the one that best suits you. Okay, so if you missed the link the other time, make sure you keep on. Just look through the chat and you'd find the link somewhere. Okay, my colleagues would also share that in the chat. Okay, I'm looking through the chat and I think I saw something that says for ITBA, you need to be paid at least 54. Yeah, business analyst gets paid between an average of about 45 to 55,000 pounds per annum in the UK. Okay, so which of these sounds most like you? I like solving problems with people and organizing teams. How comfortable are you with tools like Excel, Google Sheets, or numbers in general? Are you very confident or not? Okay, let me say I am somewhat comfortable. I can navigate basic formulas. All right. So again, select the one that best suits you. What's your take on coding? Let's say that I'm curious, but I'm not sure if I'll enjoy it. Okay. So let me select that. What kind of work environment do you prefer? I prefer independent, technical, data-focused work. Select that. What's most important to you right now? I would say remote work flexibility or landing a high-paying job ASAP. Select that. And then I click on next. Okay. What kind of impact do you want to make? I want to drive data insights, build scalable systems. Select that. Which course sounds most appealing? Okay, so it doesn't matter. You can select anyone. It doesn't necessarily mean that it would recommend that course to you. Okay, to look at all the answers you provided earlier and help. And if you're not sure, so many, I'm just confused, you can select that option too. But for me, I'm going to select data science. So let me look for full stack data scientist. Select that. And then I click on tap here. Okay. Make sure you click on this and you will get a result. Okay. So even though I selected data science, I'm recommended as the analyst to take a data analytics program. That's what is best suited to my own personality based on what I've provided. So I want you to take the same. And if you've gotten a result, just like I have gotten, I got data analytics, type that into the chat. Okay, type into the chat. Salio and Iberia, I'm going to take all those questions. We'll have a Q&A towards the end of our session today. All right. Olu favored got data science. Okay, fantastic. Emmanuel, data analytics. Olalekan got data science. Brilliant. Okay. Amy got business analyst. Gabrielle got, oh, that just went away. Gabrielle got data analytics. Brilliant. Anna got agile project management. Fantastic. HR analytics. Tolulokwe. Faith, data science. Unzube, business analysis. Amarachi, HR, data. Taiwo, BA. Fantastic. Absolutely phenomenal. Now, the beauty about all of this, if you've noticed, because these are career paths that are heavily skilled, it doesn't matter where you're coming from. I was an industrial chemist. That was my undergraduate degree. I started out as a management consultant, but here I am, worked as a data analyst for the past decade. Okay. And I'll share so many insights, so many success stories with you today. People that this particular lady was a healthcare assistant with one of the NHS trusts. Today, she's a business data analyst with the same NHS trust, and she was able to keep her sponsorship. I'll share that story with you as we move on. So it doesn't matter what you've done before. You can step into any of these career paths. All right. So if you click on step into it, you can either, if you click on this, it's going to take you to where you pay and register, which I'll show you how to do that later. So we're not focused on that for now. All right. Or you can book a free call where one of our career coaches would speak with you and help you identify the best way for you to go about that. Okay, but make sure you just see the results, and that's the most important thing right now. Let's see. Interested in that story. Fantastic. I'm going to share the story with you. Her name is, what's her name now? I think Susan. I'm not entirely sure, but she's on my slide, and I'll share that with you. So what have we been able to achieve so far? We've looked at facts. So many immigration changes, immigration restrictions, but there are jobs. There are jobs in the UK. People are getting jobs every single day. There are jobs in Canada. People are getting jobs every single day. Same in the US. So we know those facts. We know that these facts exist. Second question. Out of all the career path I need to focus on, which career path would land me a job the fastest? We've seen 8 of those career paths. All right. You've also taken the quiz and you've seen the one that best suits your personality. So that's the very first step into moving into a high-paying job within the tech ecosystem. And we've just accomplished that. The next step for us is, now that we've decided or we've seen the career path we are interested in, what do employers want? How do I get a job? I've been applying, getting rejections. I've been applying, getting into interviews, but I've not been getting beyond the first stage, the second stage. What do employers want from me? Employers want only 2 things. Okay? Employers want you to come with 2 things. The first one, your skills, and the second, your experience. Just these 2 things. your skills and experience. Now, it's a bit easier for you to get the skills, but a lot of people get the skills the wrong way. Okay. And I'll show you the right way to get the skills using a case study of two people who got jobs within the healthcare space, and they were moving from sectors and industries that were not related to healthcare. So I'll show you how to get the skills. I'll show you how to get the experience. For us at Tenalytics, we call this competence. And I want you to write this down somewhere, because this is something that will change your entire mindset towards approaching the job application process. Competence over credentials. Please pardon my handwriting. Okay, so I need to settle down to write this properly. So competence, okay, over credentials. If you have a pen, write it somewhere. Competence over credentials. Every employer wants that employee, that potential employee that would hit the ground running on day one, meaning that they have the skills and they also have the experience. But the biggest question I always get is, Adeza, how do I gain experience if I haven't gotten the job? I can learn the skills. I can pay for a training, join a program, get somebody to teach me. But how do I get the skills? Okay. How do I get the experience rather? Now, even for the skills, there are so many people that get it wrong. So many people get it wrong. And where they get it wrong is they learn in a way that so many people have learned and have failed. I tried it myself. Okay. And what is that? Learning in a way that you just watch videos, you buy a Udemy course, you buy a Coursera course, you watch YouTube videos. That's the worst way to learn. If you want to get the skills required to land a job, it's the worst. I've been there. I did this 12 years ago when I was trying to transition myself. It never works. And I've seen so many people that have done the same. They end up coming to ask questions. I've been on this for the past 1 year, for the past 2 years, and I cannot get a job. And the simple reason why they can't get a job is simply because they haven't learned the right way and they haven't gotten the right skills to compete for the jobs. So when you get into the interview process, you realize that you can't even go beyond the first stage simply because you don't have the right skills. And potential employers would see that very fast when they ask you 2, 3 questions and you answer the questions using only one story. It becomes very clear. Oh, tell me about the time you used Tableau to build a dashboard. What insights were you able to generate? And you talk about the time where you worked in a particular bank, or when I was in Scotia Bank, I was able to build this dashboard. Okay, tell me about the time you worked with a difficult stakeholder. How did you manage communication? You talk about Scotia Bank again. Oh, tell me about the time you built a machine learning model. How did you select your algorithms? What were the key considerations for you? Oh, when I worked at Scotia Bank. And potential employers, when they hear a candidate like that, and I've been on that side interviewing candidates, it becomes very clear that you don't have the right experience because you tell one story all through the interview. So how you learn is also very important. And the way we advise people to learn is learn in a project-based environment. Learn in a project-based environment. And I'll show you exactly what that means. What does a project-based environment means? And I can see you're dropping, questions in the chat. I'll pop in there in the next 10 minutes to take some of the questions. But like I said, we'll have a Q&A towards the end of our session today. So what's a project-based environment? I'll show you practically what a project-based environment means. And if you're not learning this way, you will get it wrong. I'm 100% certain you would get it wrong. Or for those who get it right, you'll probably spend the next 1 year, 1.5 years getting to do it, because I've been there before. Okay. I've done all of that, Esther. I've done all of those platforms. They are very good for somebody who has some level of experience. So you know the foundations, you have a good background, and then you can build on that. But for somebody trying to transition, for a nurse trying to become a data analyst, for a teacher trying to become a data scientist. That's the worst way to learn because you get frustrated with certain problems. You are writing your queries, you're writing your codes, you're trying to do something, it's not working out for you, and you really struggle to get help. Okay. So, what's a project based environment? I'll use this scenario to explain. Two people, this gentleman, his name is Mawutin. Mawutin had a BSc in chemistry. He worked as an operations manager back in the UK. So he moved to the UK for his master's, worked as an operations manager back when he was in Nigeria, and his first degree was in chemistry. He joined the Tenalytics data analytics program, and today Mawutin works as a pathology data analyst with the NHS in the UK on full visa sponsorship. So from a chemistry background, operations management experience, he was able to get a job in the healthcare space, in the health sector as a pathology data analyst after completing a data analytics program. Coming the second gentleman, Pavel. Pavel is a Cameroonian. He has experience as a teacher in the education sector, worked in Cameroon as a teacher before moving to the US. He joined the Tenalytics data analytics program, and Pavel landed a job as a healthcare data and reporting analyst with the Arizona Community Physicians in Tucson, Arizona, in the US. Okay. And I'm going to show you these people's profile so you have a look and see how were they able to do it? How would somebody with experience in operations management and somebody who had worked as a teacher get jobs like pathology data analyst, healthcare data reporting analyst? How is that even possible? That is what? Project-based learning. Okay. And I'll show you how the project-based learning works. Now, this is where I want to get a job in healthcare as a pathology data analyst like Mawutin. The kind of projects I would complete and work on are the type of projects that are healthcare related. So I work on the healthcare related projects. I get data, real healthcare data, not simulated data, real healthcare data, work on that. So when I get into the room and I speak to potential employers, they see and they hear the way I speak. I use the right terminologies and I answer the questions properly. And that's what gets me a job like that. Same with Pavel. So this was what they did. And this is how we helped them land that job. Okay. And I'm going to show you clearly how they were able to do it. So they learned in a project-based environment using our LMS, the learning management system, and also live classes. So when you watch videos on your own to practice, and that is all you do, 100% self-paced. So I'm on a course on Coursera, for example. I have 1,000,001 of them that I never completed. And I'm sure a lot of people are on that same boat. And that's all I'm doing. I'm just watching videos and trying to practice and trying to figure things on my own. That's going to be a very big problem. And there was a problem that took me 2 weeks to solve. 2 weeks. And ask me what that problem was. So I was writing a SQL query. Rather than using a single inverted comma, I used a double. And I kept on getting errors and I didn't know what I was doing wrong. And it took me 2 weeks to solve that problem. And that's the problem and the danger. A lot of people get frustrated and they drop off. Okay. You must always have the ability to join a live instructor-led class where you have the opportunity to ask questions to a real human being who would look at what you've done, give you feedback. On a Saturday or on a Monday evening, I can reach out to my facilitator and say, hey, I was watching this. I came across this particular problem. How do I go about it? And I get a real-time answer, real-time feedback. That's the best way to learn. If you don't learn in a project-based environment, you will not get the right type of skills like Mawutin and Pavel. to land that job. Okay, so I'm going to show you the type of projects Mawutin and Pavel worked on and how that helped them to land the job. All right. So I'll take you to their real classroom, the live classroom. And like I mentioned earlier, you have the LMS, which is your learning management system. So for anybody who has joined Analytics, you have access to a dashboard like this. So for Mawutin and Pavel, they had their data analytics dashboard. Okay. Let me minimize this a little bit. Okay. They had their data analytics dashboard. So I can come in here any day, anytime, click on continue learning. Okay, click on continue learning. It takes me into my class. I can watch my videos. I want to watch videos on Excel. I want to learn Excel, for example. Okay, so I go to Excel class 1. I want to learn data cleaning in Excel. I can click on data cleaning functions. I want to learn how to do the clean function, and I click on that. And here I can watch my video, learn how to use the clean function. Okay, let me just mute that because of, so I come here, watch my video, learn how to use the clean and the value function. And I am taught by one of the best in the industries, the co-founder of Tenalytics, Efemena. He has worked as a data analyst in Ireland, in the UK, in Canada, in the US. And this is the person teaching me how to use the clean function, how to use the value function. So this is your LMS, your self-paced part of the class. Okay. So when Pavel and Mawutin watch their videos, what do? They come to their live class. So you have your live classes. All right. And I'm going to show you what that looks like. You come to your live classes, and your live class is where you join a class on a Saturday, for example. And then you have somebody like me, you have a professional who is working with you to ensure that you understand how to solve problems using the tools and technologies that you've learned. Okay. So I'm going to show you what Mawutin and Pavel were able to learn, how they were able to learn in a project-based environment. Now, they started with problem solving, and then they moved to their very first Excel class. In a project-based environment, you don't learn Excel as a tool, knowing what to use Excel to do. No, you learn how to use Excel to solve problems. Because when you're in a company working for them, what you'd be doing as a data analyst is solving problems for that company. So I'll show you the class material. And one of the case studies you work on is a case study for a hospital. Remember, if you want to get a job in healthcare, you must have healthcare related projects in your portfolio. If you want to get a job in automobile, you want to get a job in aviation, you want to get a job in FMCG, you must have projects in that particular industry. So you work on this type of project. It's a case study for Luke's Hospital. It's a real organization. We changed the name of the organization, changed the data because of data privacy. And then you get to understand what's the problem with Luke Hospital. You understand the problems they have, the business introduction, and then they are struggling with operational inefficiencies simply because their data is unstructured. Okay, so management lack visibility to patient trends, financial performance, emergency room efficiency, and so on and so on. Okay, now what do you want? What do you have to do as a data analyst? You solve this problem. Mawutin and Pavel worked on projects like this, solved the projects, and added these projects to their portfolio. When you learn in a project-based environment like this, you do what? You gain experience in that sector. When you speak to somebody in healthcare, you speak using the terminologies, emergency room, how you have solved that problem to increase the time it takes for the physician to get to see the patient and so on. You talk about what you've done using the right terminologies. And because this class is recorded, it's a live class. If I miss the class for any reason, I can come back and watch the recording. I see exactly what happened in class. So I never miss anything. Okay. So this is that same project completed in class with your facilitator. So you have a real facilitator, you solve that problem together, you can ask questions. And this is how you learn to build experience within the sector where you want to land a job. Okay. So this was what Pavel and Mautin did. And I'll take you to their profiles. You have a look at these amazing professionals and how they were able to make this transition. So from Mautin moving into a pathology data analyst role with the NHS, full visa sponsorship, Pavel working with the Arizona community physicians in the US. All right. So let's go to LinkedIn very quickly. And what I'll be showing you now is very important in preparing you, positioning you as the best candidate for that job. Okay. So let's look for Pavel and Mawutin. Okay. So that's Mawutin. We go to Mawutin's profile very quickly. So one of the things you'd see when you go to Mawutin's profile is you both worked at Tenalytics. And this is very, very important. I'm going to talk about that as we move on during our session today. All right. So Mautin has worked as a support worker. Okay. His current job at the moment is with the South Tees NHS Foundation Trust. All right. And before he got this job, he did what? He was a data analyst consultant. So Mawutin did not come to his profile to say that, oh, I am a student or I am a trainee or I just learned on Udemy or Coursera. Nobody would look at you. Nobody cares about all those things. What they want to see from you as an employer is that you have the experience. And when you position yourself as a candidate with experience, because you've actually worked on those type of projects, and you have an organization that can write a reference for you to vouch that you do have those skills, you've used those skills within the organization, that is what gives you access to the job. And I'll show you how employers validate this because they do a background check. They try to check to see if you've done this thing before, so they know that they're hiring the right candidates. It's more difficult to get sponsorship today. If you want to get sponsorship, you're in the UK, you're in the US, you're in Canada, you're across Europe. You must position yourself as the best candidate. You must show that you have experience doing that job. All right. So you'd see Mawutin clearly indicating that right there. Okay. And let's go to Pavel very quickly. Pavel, again, one of the first things you see is you both worked at Tenalytics. Very important. Positioning. And then you get to see Pavel's experience, currently works with the Arizona community physicians. He got this job this year, March 2025. He joined us sometime in September 2024, and he got this job just about, I think, a month or two after he wrapped up his program with us. And he's in healthcare data and reporting analyst. How did a teacher, or how can a teacher move to a healthcare data and reporting analyst role? And how can an operations manager move to a pathology data analyst role? You just heard how they did it. And that's exactly how you can do the same. All right. So you want to learn in a project-based environment, have access to a blended learning approach. You have an LMS, a self-paced platform, and you have access to real professionals that have done that job before. All right. You have somebody like Chukwuebuka, and Chukwuebuka's story is also very interesting. I'd love you to hear from Chukwuebuka and as I move on into other quick success stories, because we've answered three key questions. There's been a myriad of immigration policies. Now we have a direction. We know the facts. Okay, yes, these policies are there. They are tightening immigration. Are there jobs? Yes, there are jobs. Those are the facts. What career path do I need to focus on? I know the right career path, 8 of them, and I can get into these roles. If a teacher can get a healthcare data and reporting analyst role, then I can do it. If an operations manager can get a pathology data analyst role, then I can do it as well. The next question is, how do I position myself? What do employers want? Employers want skills and experience. How do I gain the right skills in a project-based environment? You must always work on projects, real-life projects that would give you the experience so that when you get on the job on day one, you know exactly what to do. Chukwuebuka was a solutions analyst, but he wanted to get into cybersecurity in Ireland because that was what was going to give him sponsorship. So he joined our cybersecurity program last year, September 2024. He tailored his CV. We worked on his CV for him, joined his mentorship sessions, prepared him for multiple interviews. He built a portfolio, and I'll show you what a portfolio looks like. Applied to multiple jobs consistently, and eventually in July this year, 2025, he got a job as a security operations analyst. And this is a cybersecurity role. It's called SOC, Security Operations Center Analyst. But I want you to hear from Chukwuebuka. How did he do it? Somebody in Ireland, how did he move from his current job role into a cybersecurity role? And what were the things he needed to focus on? All right. So the link to all these amazing professionals, they're all here on my slide. So make sure you fill the attendance, like I said earlier. You have access to all of this. But let's see how Chukwuebuka was able to make this transition very quickly. All right. So I'm going to play Chukwuebuka's. If you click on that link, it's going to take you to Chukwuebuka's video. I'm going to play the video so you can hear how Chukwuebuka was able to make this transition. All right. And then let's hear from Chukwuebuka. Pick one or two things. Okay. So take your pen, take your notepad, and pick one or two things from what Chukwuebuka would say. Moving from solutions analyst to cybersecurity. So sit back, relax, and let's hear from Chukwuebuka. So if you can hear Chukwuebuka, just give me a thumbs up or say yes. I'm going to start from the beginning again. I want to be sure you can hear clearly. When I play the video, if you could hear Chukwuebuka speak, just give me a thumbs up or just type in a yes into the chat. Okay, I haven't seen anything yet. Okay. Oh, so you couldn't hear Chukwuebuka speak because nobody has typed in yes into the chat yet. The video is paused. Yes, I paused it after I played it for a few seconds. Okay, so I'm going to play it again. I'll play it again and let me know if you can hear the audio. No audio. Okay. I suspected because I also can't hear it from my own end. All right. So I'm just going to. Right.
Excited to share my experience with analytics. First, I heard about analytics through social.
Can you hear Chukwuebuka now? Yes. Brilliant.
I'm truly excited to share my experience with analytics. First, I heard about analytics through social media. I kept seeing testimonials of people and posts from people who had like successfully transitioned into like the tech through their programs which they advertise, and that really caught my attention. After doing some research, I decided to join the cybersecurity September cohort. The learning experience was outstanding. The course was hands-on and practical and very relevant to what you could find in the job market. We didn't really just focus on the theory aspect, but we also had to work on like real-life scenarios using tools like Wireshark, Splunk, and that kind of helped me to build my technical skills and experience. beyond the course itself, the mentorship session where you have like a one-on-ones and the extra support was game changer. Having access to like mentors who were like really involved in the industry and also trying to help out as well. And those kind of created some sort of clarity and decision making, which really helped in my job search as well. I'm very happy to share that more so like a success story. I secured the steps, cybersecurity role with the training, the support I received, and everything. Like Analytics played a huge role in making that dream a possibility. To anyone who is thinking about joining Analytics, do not hesitate. I would suggest you start right away. If you're determined and committed into the learning process, you definitely grow and be able to get to this level that I am in at the moment with their mentorship and the real support which they provide as well. Finally, a big thank you to Toby. Very grateful. She was very helpful. She was our coordinator. She really gave us a lot of insight into learning and growing into analytics and really helped us in kind of creating like a structure in our mind in the cybersecurity space. I just want to thank everyone. Thank you to Analytics for this opportunity. Thank you so much.
Okay, so that was Chukwuebuka, a fantastic professional, moving from solutions analyst into cybersecurity. And one of the things Chukwuebuka said, if you paid close attention, he mentioned the fact that they didn't just move into theory, they learned the theory and then they moved into what? Practical, project-based learning, where they utilized and used the tools and technologies to solve real problems. And that's the best way to learn. All right. So that's Chukwuebuka's story. Chukwuebuka is based in Ireland, fantastic professional, doing very well for himself. He joined us in September last year, 2024. And by July, Chukwuebuka had gotten this job. Okay. Now, we've heard from Chukwuebuka, and I want to ask this question when it comes to experience. What do employers want? All right. We are still answering that question. We know they want the skills. We've seen how to learn the skills, project-based experience, like Chukwuebuka, using Wireshark, using Splunk, and all these tools to solve real problems practically. So when he got that job, he knew exactly what to do. He could speak to the interviewers. We prepared him for those interviews. So he got in there very confident, knowing exactly what to say. Now, let's ask this question. You want to buy a wedding dress and a suit, and you're considering two tailors. Tailor A has a certificate to show that he's gone to tailoring school. Tailor B has a store. You can walk into Tailor B's store, walk into his shop, and see the different types of suits and dresses that Tailor B has sewn. You can touch, feel the quality. You know exactly how good the quality is. You can see the type of dress you want or the type of suit. Who would you give your suit or dress to? Who would you feel comfortable or trust to sew that wedding dress or suit for you? A or B? Just type into the chat. A or B? Okay. Fumi says B. Douglas says B. Tolulope says B. Everybody says B. It seems like a no-brainer. Okay. It's a no-brainer. Everybody would choose B. But the interesting thing I've seen with so many people is that they position themselves as Tailor A. They love that certification. They love the fact that, oh, I did an MSc in a university in the UK, or I'm currently studying in Canada. They love that certification. But guess what? Employers don't care about where you studied. Chukwuebuka could have done his master's or done his BSc in University of Akure, somewhere in Nigeria. But today, he is a cybersecurity professional because just like Taylor B, he had evidence that he had done that job before. He had worked with analytics, solved problems, and he could speak to those problems when the questions were asked during interviews. Never tailor yourself as a Taylor B, a Taylor A, I beg your pardon. Your certificate means nothing. Don't chase the certificates. A lot of people chase certificates, and at the end of the day, and there's so many of them, I'll share another very quick success story with you. This lady, amazing lady, um, She had project management certifications, PMP, Scrum Master, everything back in Nigeria. She moved to Canada, but she couldn't get a job. Okay. And the question anybody would ask is, you have all these certifications. How can't you get a job? But it's very simple. Certifications are not a measure for how well you can do the job. It's just a measure for how well you can read and retain information and pour that information in an examination setting. That's all. But it doesn't mean that because I have PMP, I can use a tool like Jira or a tool like Trello or a tool like Confluence. PMP is not going to teach you how to do that. All right. So employers want to know that you can do the job on day one when they hire you. Nobody's going to take a chance on you to see if we can train you on the job so that you perform on the job. No, they want to know from day one that you have the experience to do that job for them. So if you don't position yourself like that and show employers they are the right person for that job, you would struggle to land the job. And there are two ways you show that you have experience. After working in a project-based environment, what do? You build a portfolio. And I'm going to show you what a portfolio looks like very quickly in 2 minutes. And after you build a portfolio, part of your project in your portfolio would be from your project-based class, the class you joined on a Saturday, where you worked on a project, on a healthcare, hospital-related project. You add that to your portfolio. And then you must participate in an internship. And for us at Analytics, all our programs come with 2 months internship. If you don't have an internship, you will also struggle to show that you have experience. Because if I ask you questions on how do you manage tight deadlines, tight deliverables, when you have to work with multiple stakeholders, when you explain things that you've done and you explain things that you've read, there's a difference. And during your internship, you work with other professionals. A data analyst would work with a business analyst, would work with a software developer, would work with a cybersecurity professional. You collaborate to solve real problems together. And that's where you learn interpersonal skills, collaboration skills, and so on. You know how to manage tight deadlines and so on and so forth. Okay, so I'm going to show you what a portfolio looks like very quickly. And then I'll show you how to position yourself, where to apply, how to apply. Okay, so let's look at this particular portfolio. So let's look at the first one, okay? So this is Victor. Victor is a data scientist. This is Victor's portfolio on GitHub. So it doesn't matter the program you join. For us at Analytics, you must have a portfolio because this is your store. This is your shop, just like Taylor B. This is where employers can see what you've done, the quality of the work you've done. Like I can walk into Taylor B's store, I can touch the dress, feel the material, feel the quality, and then I trust that Taylor B can do that job for me. This is where employers trust that you can do the job. So this is Victor's portfolio. Okay. So you see all the projects Victor has worked on: AI-powered customer care chatbots, global aid, cluster analysis, loan default prediction. These are all projects completed in class. They become a part of your portfolio. All right. If I click on this project, for example, it takes me to Victor's, the project on the loan default prediction, where Victor built a machine learning model that can recommend and predict if a customer would default on their loans or not. Okay, I can read about the project right here, read about it, the problem statements and all of that. And more importantly, I can look at the codes that Victor wrote when completing this project. So I can click on his notebook. I can see exactly what he's done. All right. And I'm confident that for somebody who can utilize and use these libraries, for somebody who can carry out exploratory data analysis, data cleaning, and so on and so forth, I can see that Victor has the skills to do the job. So the link to your portfolio, which is the address to your shop, would be on your CV and also on your LinkedIn. So if you go to Victor's profile on LinkedIn, for example, I'll show you that very quickly. Okay. If you go to Victor's profile, Victor Omoboye, if you go to Victor's profile, you would have no doubts that Victor is a data scientist. Again, you'd see the link to what? My portfolio. That's Victor's portfolio. It's also on his CV. And this is something you'll find across Tenalytics participants. And if you go down to his experience, you'd see experience data scientist with Tenalytics. Okay. So this shows you clearly that Victor is somebody who can do the job, position himself to land that job. Very important. All right. We can check other portfolios very quickly. If I click on this, it takes me to a data analyst portfolio, Victoria. And one of the projects you'd see is what? Deep care hospital analysis. Again, this is a healthcare related project. And Victoria is putting this here to show that for anybody who wants to see if I have experience in healthcare, yes, I do, even though I've not worked in healthcare, but I've worked on healthcare related projects. And if I click on this to see what she's done, I can see exactly how she utilized Tableau, how she used Tableau to build a dashboard. Okay, use Tableau to build a dashboard to help reduce emergency room wait time. Okay, the number of patients, the average age, and I can do what? Interact with this. I can click on this to deselect and everything goes blank. If I want to see for just Q3, okay, I can click on Q3 and I see data for only Q3. So an employer, a potential employer, a hiring manager who is interested in Victoria's CV would click on that link to the portfolio to see what she's done. And if they are hiring for somebody who knows how to use Tableau, Victoria would definitely be top on the list to get that job. This is how you, just like Taylor B, show that employer that you have the experience. It's not just about you speaking about it. It's about you showing that you've done it before. And how do employers get you to show in an interview process? You'd likely be told to come make a presentation, show us a dashboard you've built with Power BI, with Tableau, show us how you've used Wireshark for your network analysis. As a project manager, show me a project you've completed. What were the different tools you used and utilized? Can you show me how to generate a project report from Jira and so on and so forth? They want to test and see that you use these tools and you are the right person for that job. This is how you show employers. And this is Hope. I talked about Hope a few minutes ago. Hope was in Nigeria with all the certifications. She had project management certification. She had Scrum Master certification, but she couldn't get a job in Canada. She came to us, joined our Agile project management program in September last year, and still within that same year, December 2024, Hope was able to land a job as a project analyst with Visman in Waterloo, Ontario. She started the job in December, and if you listen to Hope, you would hear clearly when she mentioned. If you click here to watch, you'd listen to Hope. If we have time, I'll probably play Hope's video much later. So you hear from Hope. How did she had all these certificates, but she was going into interviews projecting the certificates, and nobody cared about that. They needed to see that Hope had done some work in Canada. She had project management experience in Canada. So showing that she had worked with analytics, if I go to Hope's profile, for example, very quickly, showing that she had worked as a project manager with Tenalytics, this was enough to convince employers that Hope was the right person for that job. And she got the job with Visman in December 2024. Okay. And what do you see here? Agile project manager with Tenalytics. So she could show Canadian work experience because Tenalytics is based in Canada and you can get Canadian work experience from Tenalytics. You can get UK work experience as well after your internship, and I'll show you how you get all those things done. All right. This is Ramat. Ramat was a customer service professional in the UK. Ramat came to our business analysis program, and today Ramat moved. She wanted more. She didn't just want to do customer service. She wanted sponsorship. So she joined our business analysis program. And today Ramat works with the NHS as a business architect. Full visa sponsorship. And for us at Tenalytics, we have over 80 professionals, 80 alumni working with the NHS in the UK, all on full visa sponsorship, because the NHS is the largest recruiter of talents in the UK. They'll give you sponsorship for that job. Ramat moved from customer service, and Ramat moved into a business architect role. All right. Now, I want to play Ramat's video, but it's about 3 minutes. Okay. So if you want to listen to Ramat and hear exactly how she was able to do it, because we had a long form interview for Ramat. All right. If you want to listen to Ramat, type in a yes in the chat. I'm going to play Ramat's video just for 3 minutes, and then you hear how Ramat was able to do it. If you want to hear from Ramat, just type in a yes. Fantastic. I want to see at least 20 yeses, and then I'll play Ramat's video. Okay, brilliant. Again, remember, while I play the video for you to listen, you also have access. Okay, the links are there for you. So make sure if you feel the attendance, you're home and dry. Okay, you'll get the slides, you'll get all the links. You can listen to all these amazing professionals. But let's listen to Ramat very quickly. So let's hear from Ramat. Moving from customer service. So that's Ramat right there. That's me. And this was a long form interview, okay? But I'm just going to play 4 minutes where you get to listen to how Ramat was able to do it. And then we come back, and then I'll show you how you can get started, how to get into business analysis like Ramat, how to get into data analytics, data science, cybersecurity, based on what the recommendation gave you when you filled the form earlier in today's session. Okay, so let's listen to Ramat very quickly, and I want you to learn 1 or 2 things.
Yeah, where are you? Where are you located? I didn't even ask. Are you in Canada?
No, I'm in the UK, Birmingham.
Oh, how is the UK?
Well, UK is fine. UK is good. It's been almost 4 years now that I came to the UK. I migrated from Nigeria to the UK, so it's almost 4 years now.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
really?
been all good, all fine.
How time flies. Did you come as a student?
No, I came in as a dependent to my husband. He was a student, so I was dependent at the time.
How was your journey? How did it start? I hear that coming in as a dependent is not that easy. Having to find a job. What kind of jobs did you even start with?
Well, to be fair, it was quite good for me because I didn't have to do care, but I know so many people that had to do care, warehouse, and all of that. But I started as a customer service rep for British Gas. So British Gas is like an energy providing company that's based in the UK. So suppliers of energies and gas. So I was working with them as their customer service rep, answering calls, queries about the product and services they offer. So that was what I did for about a year when I got here until my breakthrough with analytics.
I'm very interested in that breakthrough. Tell me about that breakthrough. How did it start? How did you hear of them? And what gave you the conviction to try them out? What is your experience like?
Okay, let me start from how I heard about them. So I was talking to my cousin. My cousin is in the UK as well. She did data analytics with analytics. So I was telling her because I was on mat leave at the time, and I didn't just want my mat leave to just go like that, being that I wasn't even really interested in the customer service role. I wanted to be more. So I talked to her and said I was looking at doing something like into around business analytics. That does she know anybody, any edu company just like analytics that I can enroll with and all of that. And she said, oh, that's really good because she just finished a data analytics course with analytics and all of that. I would really enjoy them. She mentioned Adiza. She mentioned a few people from Analytics that really helped her during her own time. I was like, is it really good? She was like, it's really, really good. And then she said there used to be a master class that I can attend that and just hear from them first before I fully enroll with them. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that's fine. She sent me the link to the master class, and then that was it for me. Like, I didn't even have to think twice. Immediately I did the master class, I enrolled immediately because I knew this was what I wanted. They were just peeling it. Adiza was the one. I remember it was the one that held the master class with one other person, and it was telling us all the benefits, all the things that we will learn in the space of about 3 months, how it will be practical enough to carry that knowledge into our job. Like when we eventually land the job, that's enough experience. And to be honest, it was practical enough because that was all that helped me. So that was how I began my journey with Analytics. I enrolled with them and started around it was around April, if I can remember correctly,
Yep.
April 2023.
Okay,
Yep.
when you dropping the link.
That was when I started with Analytics. And it was supposed to be 3 months. 3 months, 1 month for the theoretical aspect, and then I think 2 months for the practical. You have like a group where you practicalize all the things that you've been taught. They give you a project, they assign a project to your group, and then you partake, you do all the things that you would actually do on the job, you do it with them. So that took about 2 months or so. But I tell you for a fact, I started immediately after my first month with them. I already knew what I wanted. So I started enrolling for jobs and all of that. I'd not even finished my practicals before I got a job as a business analyst in one of the trusts in NHS. And that's where I still work currently. So it was that good. It was that good. All the things they taught us, all the practicals that I started to learn like bit by bit because I already mentioned that I haven't even finished. So that was what I put into the CV, into my supporting statements. And the good thing, what even crowned it up for me was when I got the interview, I told Adeza about it. And then there was a proper prep, like interview prep that I did that just prepped me comprehensively for the job. It was one of the facilitators in charge then that just prepped me. And then that was it. I got in there and smashed it and I got the job.
Okay, I'm going to stop it there because of time. All right. But again, like I said, you can watch the full interview. Okay, watch Ramat's the full interview. Ramat is a fantastic professional. And somebody was asking the question that can we also get support in filling NHS forms and how to approach the interviews? If I have a case study, how do I approach? Absolutely. So what we do with Ramat is one out of tons of people that we've helped get into the NHS. All right. So when you have an interview, what we do is we look at the job role. Somebody has gotten that job before. How was the interview process like? What was the case study presentation like? And they're pretty similar. So for somebody who wants to get a job like Ramat now, she did business analysis, got a job as a business architect. Another person wants to get a job as a business analyst. The application process is pretty straightforward and pretty similar. So we follow the same process. We bring in our past alumni and they work with you during that process as well. So you know exactly what it takes. And of course, that's what eventually would lead you to get ahead compared to other people trying to do the same thing. All right. So that's Ramat's story. And everything I've said so far boils down to these 3 buckets. The first is learn the right career path and focus on one. Somebody's asking, can I do more than one? No, you can't because the program is immersive and intensive. You can only do one at a time. So you focus on one, double down on that. You know the career path you're interested in. You know the one that has been recommended to you. Double down on it, just like Ramat did with business analysis, Chukwuebuka did with cybersecurity. Focus is not you saying this is what I must do. Focus is elimination of alternatives. Elimination of alternatives. Because like we've seen, all the career paths are fantastic. However, you've chosen that you want to go for data science. So you want to eliminate all the other career paths and focus on data science. The second part, if you listen to Ramat carefully, she had a CV revamp. This is something we do for you. We revamp your CV for you. You must have the right CV to apply to the right job to get that job. Okay, if you get, unfortunately, all the time, your CV probably has not gone past the ATS. Okay, so we revamp your CV And then you have a CV that is keyword optimized, ATS friendly, and we show you how to tailor your CV to subsequent applications. We help with your LinkedIn optimization, and I'll show you what these things look like practically. LinkedIn optimization, I showed you what the portfolio looks like. Everybody gets to build a portfolio. A business analyst would have a portfolio. A project manager would have a portfolio. A cybersecurity analyst would have a portfolio. Everybody has a portfolio because that's your evidence that you can do the job because you've done it before. You join our mentorship sessions every week. Every Thursdays, we have mentorship. You listen to Ramat saying, the moment I had an interview, I reached out to Adeza and I had an interview prep. So you have interview preparation. And all you have to do when you have an interview is just go to your platform. Okay? Go to your platform, go to your dashboard. And on your dashboard, you'd see where to prepare for interview. Okay? Just schedule interview appointments, interview prep. Click on schedule appointments and you fill all the details. The program, you select the program, you fill the link to the job you've applied to, okay? Details about the interview. So the job description, copy and paste, the interview date. When do you want to be interviewed? Oh, my interview is on Monday, so I want to be interviewed on a Sunday. Select your preferred interview dates. Upload the CV you've used to apply, and somebody will jump on a call and prep you for that interview. That was how Ramat did it and how Ramat was able to get that job. She had interview prep. She didn't go into the room thinking of what to say or watching YouTube videos to prepare. No, she had a professional who had done that job in the UK, knows about the UK work environment, knows about the NHS, prepared her for that interview, and Ramat landed that job. All right. And I'll show you what your mentorship sessions and all of that, show you what they look like very quickly. All right. So again, like I said, the mentorship is every week. And if you miss a mentorship session, it doesn't matter because all the sessions are recorded. On the 5th of September, I did a session on a special session on LinkedIn optimization. Okay. So let's take, for example, you missed this session for one reason or the other. All you have to do is come in here. You have access to my slide, the slides that I used. Okay. You have access to everything. So LinkedIn optimization for the tech professional. This is the slide. Then you have access to the recording. So I can come here, click on the recording. I missed the live session. I can watch the replay. What exactly did Adeza show us? Okay. And these are valuable sessions. All right. And I'll show you just a snippet. And it's 100% practical. So that's me right there showing you how to use tools like Google AI Studio to have the right, profile picture, the right cover page. What do you need to consider when applying, when optimizing your LinkedIn profile, applying to jobs on LinkedIn? Okay, so practical sessions, this is what it looks like. You have your mentorship sessions, all right? And more importantly, like I said, we do your CV for you. So you'd see where you have upload your CV, all right? So 47 people assigned to upload their CVs. 25 of them have uploaded so far. So we take this CV, we work on the CV, you have the right industry standard CV, and then we show you how to tailor that CV subsequently. So when we've sent you the standard, you are still going to apply to jobs, right? You need to know how to tailor your CV to those jobs. So we show you how to do that. So at the end of the day, you know exactly what it takes to land the job. All right. And of course, finally, apply. Once you've gone through the employability part, the packaging, you know the career path to learn. Now you know how to package yourself. We do your CV for you, your LinkedIn, you have a portfolio, we prep you for interviews, you have a job reference. I'll show you a job reference and how these organizations, the NHS, for example, when any of our alumnus gets a job, they need to verify that they've actually done work for us. So we verify, we send the NHS those details, and of course, they validate, and those people are able to keep their jobs. They're able to stay on the job. It's very important. If you don't have a reputable organization that can vouch for you, you won't be able to keep that job. Again, we show you how to never use a CV twice, one CV for one application. So we show you how to tailor. We advise on the volume as well. For so many people, they don't know that to land a job offer, it takes you 267 quality job applications. So this is not taking one CV and applying to 100 jobs. This is taking one CV, tailoring that CV to the job. You need 267 to land one offer. Okay, so what we advise is 10 quality applications per day. All right, 8 to 10 quality applications. And we show you how to use AI tools to make this a lot faster. And we have our own inbuilt tool, CV Matchly, which helps you with your CV, and ensure you just upload your CV, look at the job where you want to apply to, and it tailors that CV for you automatically in less than 1 minute. So you're tailoring a CV in 1 minute, and then you have access to do what? To apply to that job a lot faster. Okay, CV Matchly. If we have time, I'll show you what it looks like, but only those who join the program gets access to this particular tool. Then we show you the type of jobs, where to apply. All right, and people make this mistake all the time. So I see a lot of people talking about NHS jobs in the charts. I want to get visa sponsorship. Where do you apply to jobs? If you apply on LinkedIn, on CV Library, on reads.co.uk, NHS jobs, everybody else applies there. So you're just going to get the same type of results that they get. Okay, so what we do is we pay to job boards that gives exclusive access to 100% visa sponsorship jobs across board, the US, Canada, the UK, and we scrape these jobs, we vet the jobs, we are sure that these are the type of jobs you can get, and then we send them to you for you to apply. And I'll show you what that looks like very quickly. So if you go to your classroom, for those who have joined, obviously, under your important materials, you'd see where you have job offers. So every week, every Sundays, you get new set of jobs to apply to. Okay, so I go to job offers, I click on that, and then you'd see jobs that have visa sponsorship, jobs across the US, those in Nigeria who wants to land remote jobs, and so on and so forth. We send them to you. All right. So you see jobs in the UK, for example. Do they come with sponsorship? Yes, 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 yes. So every single week, we send you these jobs. Okay. You apply to them, and this is where you get access to exclusive jobs that your counterparts don't have access to. So if you want to be unconventional and land jobs with sponsorship, you can't be doing the same thing that everybody else is doing. You just simply get the same type of results. So we pay to these jobs, we scrape them, vet them. We know these are the type of jobs you can apply to. And then that's what gets you the job at the end of the day. So you learn, package, apply like a machine, like your life depends on it. And that's what gets you the job. I talked about Sharon the other time, the lady who worked as a healthcare assistant with the NHS. She had sponsorship. And if she was going to move away from that NHS trust, it became tricky because she might just lose that sponsorship. So what did she do? We coached her on the fact that you can apply within the same NHS trust and get what? A job within that same trust in a different role. And she did that. She joined us in March this year, 2025, our business analysis program. She did all the things I've said so far. She tailored her CV. We did her CV for her. We showed her how to tailor. She joined all the mentorship sessions. She applied to numerous jobs within the same trust. Okay. And that was where we coached her on how to search for jobs internally so she could keep her sponsorship. And what happened? May this year, 2025, less than 3 months after joining, she landed a job within the same trust as a business data analyst. And she was able to keep her sponsorship within that same trust. You have somebody like Christian. Christian got a job as a data processor and analyst just at the age of 18. And how did this happen? Christian's brother joined a session like this, just like you've joined today. And Christian's brother saw that, okay, he did not start early enough, but he wants his younger brother to start learning these different skills a lot earlier. So he registered his brother in September last year to join our data analytics program. Christian did all the things we always advise. And in July 2025, Christian was able to land a job as a data processor and analyst with Market Trends International, just 4 months after completing his program. And he made an amazing post about the job. So if you click on this link, it's going to take you to Christian's posts on LinkedIn. So I've kept the link for you. I want you to read Christian's post because a lot of people always ask this question that, can I do it? Can I land a job? This is a 17-year-old. So you'll see he wrote in September 2024, I was 17 at that time. My senior brother, who had always encouraged me to aim high, saw the potential, paid for data analytics training with Analytics. Okay, so it's an amazing story. And he posted his offer letter and everything, offer of employment at the age of 18. Christian was able to do it. This is Abednego. Abednego had migrated from Ghana to Germany, came to Canada, and he was looking to land a job. He joined our data analytics program in August last year. We prepped him, worked on his CV, prepped him for interviews. He applied to multiple roles. And in June this year, 2025, he joined us in August last year. By June, he landed a job as a quality improvement analyst with the city of Winnipeg. Abednego joined us where we celebrated our 5th year anniversary this year in August. So Abednego joined us live. That's Abednego right there, myself and Abednego. He joined us live. He came all the way from Winnipeg to attend this event, and he came to share his experience because this is somebody who had moved from across different countries, wanted to land a job in Canada, joined us in August last year, and by June this year, he was able to get a job as a quality improvement analyst with the city of Winnipeg. So he joined us physically for our 50th anniversary event, and he came to share his own story to inspire other people who were also looking to get started. And that's Abednego right there. That's me. That's Efemena, the co-founder of Tenalytics. And this was an event we held in August last month in commemoration of our 5th year anniversary. It happened on the 23rd of August. And that's Abednego, fantastic professional. You have Gad. Gad was a mechanical engineer, also works with the NHS today. He joined us in July 2024, did all the things I've shown you how to do today. And this year, January 2025, Gad landed a job also with the NHS as a data warehouse and ETL developer. Okay. And I'm going to show you using Gad's story what a reference check looks like from the NHS. Okay. So I'll show you Gad's profile very quickly from a mechanical engineer to a data engineer with the NHS. Okay. So Gad, that's Gad right there. Okay. Fantastic professional. Again, one of the first things you see is what you both work at Tenalytics. Very important. Okay. What do you see here? Azure data engineer with Tenalytics. So any employer who sees this knows that Gad is already on the job. So he's good enough. He's positioned himself. And he got this job in January this year. The offer came in last year in October, and he started in January as a data warehouse and ETL developer. And this is what a reference looks like. Okay. So the organization sends a reference to Tenalytics, 25th of October, 2024, last year. We want to confirm God's, work with you. What skills does he have? What's the best way to manage him? Was he ever absent from work? If you had the opportunity to work with God again, would you work with him? And so on and so forth. And this was God's reference. This is what a typical reference looks like. The organization would want to validate that you really do have those skills. Okay. Same with Ene. Ene completed our data science program. And then Ene was able to land a job this year. She completed her program in December 2024. She landed a job working from the UK with a company in Germany, working remotely as a data scientist. She got this job in April this year, 2025. Again, the organization would always want to find out. So they would send this email, reference check for Ene, click on the link, filled out the reference details, and the confirmation that Ene has gotten that job. All right. So we've touched on a couple of things from the skills you need to learn. We've touched on the fact that so many people who had no experience have done this, which means you can also do it. So a typical program at Analytics runs for 8 months. So this is not your become a business analyst in 4 weeks or become a data analyst in 3 weeks. No, it's an 8-month learning journey. You learn for 6 months in class, and then you have 2 months internship. Your internship is with our sister company called Amdari. Amdari operates out of London in the UK and also operates out of Alberta in Canada. So for those who need UK work experience, for those who need Canadian work experience, this is how you get it. If you look at Ene's profile on LinkedIn, Ene listed both. She listed Analytics and she listed Amdari. And I'm going to show you Ene's profile very quickly. Because like I emphasized earlier, positioning is very important if you want to land a job. Okay, so this is Ene. She got this job in April this year, working remotely for the company in Germany. She's based in the UK. And what do you see? Data scientist with Analytics and data scientist with Amdari. Okay, so this positions you as somebody who knows the job and who can do the job. And that's how you land those offers. All right, so a typical class runs on Saturday. That's when you have your live class. So the dashboard, your LMS that I showed you earlier, is where any day, anytime, you log into the LMS, watch your videos, practice on your own. And every Saturdays, it doesn't matter where you are in Nigeria, you are in the UK, you are in the US, there's a class tailored to your time zone. So if you're in the UK, for example, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. every Saturdays is when you have your live class. If you're in the US, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Mountain Time. So for those in the UK who wants to join, maybe you're busy in the morning, you can't join at 11 a.m. You want to join the class in the US. For those in the US, same facilitator, same curriculum, same everything. It's just the timing that is different. So if you're not available in the morning, you can always join 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. your time. Okay, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. your time. So you join in the evening and you have access to that class as well. So it doesn't matter where you are in Canada, 10 a.m. Mountain Time is the perfect time for you to join. You are in the UK, 11 a.m. in the morning on Saturdays is when you join your live session. Every other day, Monday, Tuesday to Sunday, you can simply log into the LMS, watch your videos at your own convenience. All right. And of course, you have your mentorship sessions as well. Every Thursdays, like I mentioned, in the evening, for those in the UK, you have your mentorship session at around 9 to 10 p.m. And for those in the US, Canada, so we shuffle the mentorship this week for those in the UK, next week for those in the US, Canada, similar time zones. So you are not joining classes at odd hours. And you have lifetime access to all the materials, both the LMS, also the classroom, all the recording of your classes. So you can always go back for reference at every given point in time. Okay, so that's what the structure looks like. 6 months learning, 2 months internship. And what we've seen happen too many times is scenarios or situations where people get jobs 3 months, 4 months into their program. And that's simply because we push you to apply the moment your CV is ready, the moment your LinkedIn is ready. You don't need to wait until the end of the program. You start applying. When you get those interviews, we prepare you for those interviews, and you go in there and start to ace those jobs. How do I start today? Okay, so how do I start? How do I register? For so many people asking the question, we have a new cohort coming up on the 4th of October this year, and we have our early bird discount is still running. So if you haven't taken advantage of the early bird discount yet, this is the best time to do that. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through what it takes for you to get started, and then we'll take questions for the next 20 minutes, and we call it a day. So for any of the programs you're interested in joining, data analytics, business analysis, data engineering, the full amount is $1,000. I beg your pardon, $1,000 for the 8 months. Everything I've mentioned, from the mentorship to working on your CV, your LinkedIn optimization, all your classes, lifetime access to the LMS, every single thing, it's $1,000. However, we have our early bird discounts running, USD, not Canadian, Patrick, $1,000. But we have a discount, early bird discount running from the 6th of September to the 26th of September. Okay. And rather than paying $1,000, you get to pay just $750. It's a 25% discount. And it's only open to the first 20 people to register from this session. So what that means is between now and the 26th of September, if we get 20 people that have registered, the discounted slots would go off. And then we go to the standard discount of just 20%. So with the 25% discount, you get to pay $750, and you can break your payments in multiple installments. For somebody like Gad, he didn't have to pay the full amount. For somebody like Ramat, who currently works with the NHS, didn't get to pay the full amount. You make the first installment, and then that gets you into the program. And you can break your payments into a maximum of 5 installments. And I'm going to walk you through how that works. So if you take advantage, one of the first 20 people to register from this session, you get to pay just $750, and you get in. You start on the 4th of October, the next cohort, by just paying $150 to get started. So at the moment you make your payment, you have access to the LMS, to the dashboard. You can start watching your introductory classes. And on the 4th of October, you have your first live session. All right. So I'm going to show you how this works very quickly, how to go ahead, make payments, and how to go ahead and set up your profile on the website. Okay. And then we take questions before we call it a day. Remember, the discount is only for the first 20 people, not for everybody. All right. And another amazing bonus offer is for the first 20 people to register. So you take advantage of the 25% off, and you also get a group mentorship session with both myself and Ifemena, the co-founder, before the program starts. Okay, so this session would guide you, prepare your mindset, prepare you to get your journey on the way. Okay, so that's myself right there, and that's Ifemena. Ifemena is that professional that has been in your shoes too many times. Ifemena has worked in the warehouse. He's worked as a warehouse operative when he was in Ireland for DPD, one of the largest logistics companies in Europe. In the same DPD, the same company where he worked as a warehouse operative, he got a job as a BI developer in that same company with sponsorship. He moved from Ireland and he moved to the UK. So you're going to hear from Ifemena yourself, hear his story, his journey, and how you can also position yourself. So when you start on the 4th of October, you start with high octane, high impact, and then you definitely would get the results you want to at the end of the day. So you're going to meet with me, meet with FMN. For those of you, the first 20 people to register from today's session. All right. So I'm going to show you how to go ahead with your registration very quickly. My colleagues would share the link in the chat from time to time, but this is how you get started. So when you click on the link, it's going to take you to this particular spot. Okay. So for cookies, you can accept all, required only. Okay. It's going to take you to this particular page. When you click on that link, it brings you to the website and it gets you here. So I'm just going to walk you through how to go about selecting. So you select the program you're interested in. And of course, you'd see the full amount until you apply the discount. And I'll show you how to apply the discount. So if I'm interested in data analytics, for example, or I'm interested in business analysis like Ramat, okay, I click on business analysis, I click on buy now, and it takes me to the program itself, okay? You can read about the program right here, okay? 6 months instructor-led classes. You're going to work on 8 projects, 2 months internship, and then I click on enroll now, okay? And when I do that, it would ask for my details. Enter your name and your last name. So I'd enter my name, Adeza Suleiman, okay? Enter my email address. So I'm just going to I'll use a dummy email, okay? Because this is a test just to show you how it works. Okay, so just give me 1 second and I'll show you that very quickly. Okay, so I'll just use a dummy email. Come back here, enter the email, enter your phone number. So 780-716-61. Okay, just enter a dummy number, enter your phone number. Okay, enter your email address, select I have read the terms and conditions. Make sure you tick that box and then you create your account. Okay, click on create. Email has already been taken. Okay, so I'm just going to have to, I'll use a different email for that. I just want to walk you through the process because you need the email to verify and validate, and I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so let me use this email very quickly. So create accounts. So account created successfully. It brings you to where you confirm your enrollment. And this is where you get to see 25% discount applied. Now, we have the very next available cohorts starting October, 4th of October, okay? And another cohort starting in November. So for example, if you are busy, you have commitments, and you can't start in October, you can actually start in November. So it's showing me the equivalent in what? Pounds. So it's going to show you the equivalent based on your region, based on your location. If you're in Nigeria, you're going to see Naira. If you're in the UK, you're going to see pounds. If you're in the US, you'd see dollars. If you're in Canada, you'd see Canadian dollars and so on. Okay. So now this is the discounted fee for the full. If I want to make full payments, 2 payments, 3 installments, 4 installments, or 5 installments. So for 5 installments, rather than paying $1,000, which is roughly 820 pounds, I would pay only 615 pounds, which is your $750. So depending on where you are, you'd see the breakdown of your currency. Okay. Now, if I select 5 monthly payments, it means I'll pay $150 every month for the next 5 months. Or if I'm paying in pounds, I'll pay £123 every month for the next 5 months. Okay. However, if I make a one-time payment, full payment, I get an additional discount. So instead of paying a total of $750, I'll pay just $712. If I make my payment in 2 installments, I also get, a further discount. Instead of paying $750, I pay $712. All right. So you select your preferred payment plan. Say I select 5 installments, click on apply discount. And this is where you get to see the discount to be applied, and it takes you to the payments page. Okay. You confirm all your details. You can edit if you have anything you want to edit, and then you'd see your payment plan. Okay. So I make my first payment today, the 20th of September, 20th of October, November 19th, December 19th, and final payment January 18th. So you see the payment plan. But when you've registered, say your salary comes in on the 24th or 25th, you can change your subsequent payment plans so that you get, the debit happens when you get paid. So you can make adjustments to this. So all I'll need to do is confirm my information is correct. I've read the terms and conditions, and I click on pay now. So I'm going to show you what happens when you pay, when you create your account, what happens and everything. All right. So here you'd see your first payment because I selected the 5 monthly payments. So I get to pay just $150. The discount has been applied. And then I come to enter my detail, your credit card, your debit card, depending on how you want to make payments. Okay. So I'll come in here and I'll make my own payments. So these are not my account details, okay? So my credit card details. So it really doesn't matter. Okay, so you enter your card details just like I have. Enter my name, the card holder, country or region. Select your country or region. I'll just select the UK, United Kingdom, or wherever. Or you can select, let them select the United Kingdom. Okay, enter your postcode BD6 1QN and click on what? Pay. At the moment you click on pay and your payment is confirmed, you'd receive all the confirmation details in your email. Payment successful. So what's next? You access your course, you create your calendar, and you start looking at the leaderboard. Okay, because your journey starts from here. So I click on go to dashboard, or if you need any help, all you have to do is, send us an email on help@10analytics and somebody would reach out to you. Okay, or you can join a live chat if you send us an email. So I click on go to dashboard, and this takes me to my dashboard, but I have to verify. So you have a code sent to your email. So go to your email, look for 10Analytics Inc., verify email. You will see that email pop up. Copy the code or check for the code. Mine is 284549. So I come in here, I enter that code and verify. Okay, so this verifies your email. So once you verify your email, it takes you to where you complete your profile. So I'm just going to complete my profile. Country of residence, select your country of residence. Okay. Your gender, male. Preferred time. I want to have my class in the morning. So 11 a.m. British summertime. How did you hear about us? Select that option. I heard about 10Analytics on Instagram. I heard about 10Analytics on LinkedIn. Select how you heard about us. Updates. You want to update your email, you can enter that right here. If you got a referral code, you can enter that right there. What made you register? I was impressed with the structure. Okay, structure of the platform or structure, depending on what made you register, select that. How much time can you commit? And the reason why we ask this question is so that we ensure that you don't go on this journey alone. So you have somebody attached to you who's going to call you from time to time. The moment you register, a month into your program, they're tracking to see that you're actually following your plan. Because when you see these people that got jobs, it happened for them simply because they followed a plan. Okay, they did all the things they were meant to do. They did not miss classes. And even when they missed classes, they went back to watch their recording. So let's say I'm going to commit 1 to 3 hours per week. Complete setup. This updates your profile and it takes you to your dashboard. Okay, so you're going to see welcome Adeza, depending on if you see maybe welcome Michael, welcome Abimbola, depending. So you'd see access to all the resources I showed you earlier. You have an interview, you can book an interview. You want a reference letter for a job, for your master's, your PhD, you're applying, you want us to write you a recommendation, you can get that right here. Okay, request for reference details. You fill this form and we'll provide every single thing that you need. Okay, you have a leaderboard right here and you come to your business analysis class, click on continue learning, and then it takes you to where you can start watching your videos from introduction, your installation videos and everything. You can start watching your videos. All right. So that's what it takes after you've registered. It's a seamless process. You really don't need to speak to anybody. But if for any reason you have a question, all you have to do, just send us an email, help@analytics.io, and somebody would help you address that problem. Okay? So that's how you get registered into our program. Now, remember, when you register and you come to your dashboard, one of the first things you want to do, you can check your billing history. Okay, so it's likely not going to show for mine because mine is a test. This is something just I'm using to test and show you what you would see from your own end. So when you click on billing history, you'd see your payment plan, when the next payment would come, and you can make changes. Like I said, if salary comes in on the 25th or salary comes in on the 28th, then you get to make those changes. All right. So your live class, the first live class starts on the 4th of October. That's when your first live class starts. All right. So I have my colleague here, Kingsley. I'm going to stop sharing and I'll get Kingsley to share. So Kingsley's job here today is to track and ensure that the first 20 people who would be in the free mentorship session before the program starts, you're going to see me after the program starts almost every week. But before you start, for a lot of people, they want to get that mindset shift, the right mindset, listen to me, listen to Efemena, ask questions. So it's a free mentorship session. So I'm going to allow Kingsley just track that as we take questions. All right. So I think we have 2 people who said they've made payments so far. So I'm going to take questions both in the chat and also for those who want to unmute themselves to ask while Kingsley tracks the payments. Okay, so if you have questions, please drop in the chat or raise your hand and I'll call you up to speak. And then I would like to show you one more thing before we leave here today. Okay, and I want to show you how to follow us across all platforms. Okay, from Instagram to LinkedIn, how to connect with me and so on and so forth, so that you are one of the very first people who get to see all the stuff that we put out every single time. So Joseph said, oh, I paid this evening, Ned. Absolutely fantastic. I can see the first question from Anthony. Thank you, Adeza. Let me grab it. Let me take some water, Anthony. Your question seems to be long. Okay. So thank you, Adeza, for this insightful session. I currently gained admission University of Sunderland in the UK to study MSc Project Management. I want to transition to gain sponsorship. Please guide me on what to do. If there is one truth I can tell you, Anthony, I studied in the UK as well, University of Bradford. I was between Bradford and Manchester for, almost over 2 years. One thing I'll tell you for free, and from my interaction with so many other professionals like yourself, the university doesn't give you the practical skills that you need to do the job. You'd learn all the theories, the terminologies, you'll be familiar with the project management body of knowledge. Okay. However, can you use Jira to track project deliverables? No, you're not going to learn that. Would you learn how to use Trello to track your team members' tasks and activities? No. Would you learn how to use Confluence? Would you learn the different metrics for reporting, the burn down charts, the velocity, the burn up charts, and so on and so forth? No. University doesn't teach you that. Unfortunately, that's what you'd find. So what do you do if you find yourself in that situation? Pay all attention in class, okay? Get as much as you can because you've paid thousands of pounds to study that master's, except you're on scholarship. What do you then need to do next? Equip yourself with the right skills to land the job, okay? University is not going to give you what the employers want, so you must get that from somewhere. All right. So you join the Agile Project Management Program. That'll be my advice to you. Join the Agile Project Management Program. Learn all the skills, all the tools, build a portfolio, all the things I've said today. You build a portfolio, learn how to use these tools. As a project manager, you'd work together with a software developer. You'd work together with a business analyst, with a project manager, and you build a real application, multiple applications, but one major one you'd work on is a vendor listing application. So when you are asked questions during interviews, tell me how you've done this, tell me when you've done this, you can speak confidently, just like Hope. I shared Hope's story with you earlier. She had all the certificates, but she couldn't get a job. Okay, so that'll be my advice to you, Anthony. I don't know if that helps. I hope it does, but if you do have a follow-up question, please feel free to ask. CGX says, I made payment this evening before this session started through Nanel. Fantastic. CGX. Nanel is one of our amazing resource persons. Okay. So good to know that you came from Nanel. Nielsen is asking, how likely can I get sponsorship after your training? So let me show you. I think I forgot to show you something. And let me see. Okay, Kingsley is sharing his screen now. So perhaps when Kingsley has gotten to 20, then I'll show you. So one way we help you get sponsorship a lot faster, Nielsen, we don't guarantee sponsorship because we don't give the sponsorship, right? We give you the skills, number one. We give you the experience, number two. I showed you that. We give you all the resources that would package you as the best candidate. Your CV, your LinkedIn. When you have interviews, we prepare you for those interviews. You have a portfolio. We show you how to create a portfolio. You have all those access to those materials. When that organization wants to check and validate that you really do have these skills, they come to us and we do validate those skills. Now, outside that, I wanted to show you some of the platforms that we use. We pay to these platforms. They are 100% visa sponsored jobs. So when you go there to apply to jobs, you don't see any other type of job apart from visa sponsorship. So we scrape those jobs and then we send them to you. Okay. So when you do things differently from what others are doing, you'll get different results. That's the simple meaning. But if you do the same thing everyone else is doing, you'll get the same results. Okay. So that's how we help with sponsorship. And that's why our participants have been so successful. All right. I think I'm going to take some questions from the chats before I come back. Sorry, from those who have their hands up before I come back to the chat. Moses is saying, I have in the UK, I'm in the UK for a master's in civil engineering. I'm torn between which courses to take. Please advise. So Moses, if you did not feel or answer the quiz we answered at the beginning of the session, okay, make sure you feel that. So I don't know, Adeze or Elijah, if anybody is still in the chat, please post the link to the quiz for Moses. Okay, and I'll share our numbers. You can reach out to us, call us on any of those numbers. You can also send us a message or send us an email, send us a message on WhatsApp and through different channels, and you can easily reach out to us. Okay, made payment last Tuesday for the August cohorts. Can't wait to get started. Can't wait to work with you as well. Ambest. Looking forward to working with you. Isaac is saying, I'm currently in Canada. I have a PMP, but I want to learn data analytics with you guys. How can I put my best foot forward? So register. That's the most important thing, Isaac. Okay. When you register and you want to, before you start, even 2 weeks into the program, say you started with data analytics, but you had a change of mind. You want to go back to project management. You can do that 2 weeks after you've started. That's 2 weeks after the 4th of October. Okay. So you have the opportunity to ask any questions that you have, and either myself or our other numerous career coaches would help you answer any of those questions. But if you have a PMP, but you want to pivot, you don't want to do project management anymore, you want to do data analytics, that's perfectly fine. Okay. The most important thing you want to do is get started. Get started. Oh, Ruth, you have a question. Okay, I'm going to take your question. Let me see those with your hands raised, and let me start. So I have Adaury and I have Max. So I'm going to start with Adaury and then I'll go to Max. So Adaury, I've asked you to unmute yourself. Please go ahead and let's hear from you. So we're currently on 8. We're waiting to get the first 20 people and then we wrap up our session. Or in the next 10, 15 minutes, we wrap up. Adaury, go ahead, please. Let's hear from you.
Hi, Deze. I'm actually a student of 10 analytics already.
Okay.
And I think I'm almost rounding off because I started in May.
Okay.
Well, so my question is very simple. The topic and the reason why I joined was because of the topic, which says how to land a job in US, Canada, and the UK, despite everything going on. And I just wanted to ask, why must it be Canada, UK, and the US? Can't we do other countries? I think it's this whole rush that is making everybody, Trump is saying one thing today, Canada doesn't want immigrants, and UK is at they don't want. So I just think everything is just because of this rush. So, and also, like I said, I'm a student of 10 analytics, and yes, you guys send job postings, but it's always Canada, UK, US. Like there are a lot of other countries, that actually welcoming. I would really love to see more exploitations from them, not just Canada, UK, and the US. I think I'm tired of the whole craziness around it. Thank you very much. And nice talking to you finally.
All right. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure hearing from you, Adaury. So now there's a reason why that's the case. And I'll just quickly explain. All right. About 70% of the people that join 10 Analytics come from the UK. And the reason why that happens is because of our strong presence in the UK. Okay. So when we do what we do that to support and ensure that we provide all the necessary resources to those in the UK. Okay. Same with those in the US. So after the UK, Canada, out of the remaining 30%, about 18%, thereabouts, about 15% or so, I can't remember the numbers at the top of my head right now, come from Canada. And then you have the US. So that's why what we do in terms of providing the resources is largely tailored towards these regions. And of course, you have those from Nigeria, which we also provide, and other regions generally. There was a session I held. Kingsley, if you can allow me share very quickly. One of the things I did was to share startups in different regions beyond just the UK, the US, Canada, Nigeria, across Africa, Europe, and so on and so forth. Okay. But that's just a simple reason why when we have sessions like this, it's usually tailored to that market rationally, simply because of where our audience are located. I don't know if that makes sense, Adaury. So what I can do is, and we're having a session for some people in Poland and in Austria, interestingly, simply because we have a few participants from those regions. Okay. In Poland, for example, we've had about 32 people that have come to 10 Analytics and they've gotten jobs, and they were all through referrals, because you would not see a 10 Analytics session that says how to land a job in Poland, for example. But they joined a session like this and they registered, they paid, and they joined the program. And one of the gentlemen I remember, Benga joined from Poland. He was doing his master's program in Poland, and he got a job as a business data analyst after completing his program with us. And then he referred his girlfriend, who was also in his university. His girlfriend joined our data science program, and she got a job as a people data scientist. And then between the both of them, they recommended over 25 people. Okay. I think they're somewhere on my slide. I'm going to show the both of them if I can. And then let me just quickly show you some of these sessions, and then we will help with tailoring some of the sessions to other regions beyond all the regions I mentioned earlier. Okay, but that's a good feedback, Adalre. So I'll take the second question as I open up the other pages, and then Kingsley can come back to still track. So let me take you, Max. Max, I've asked you to unmute yourself. Please go ahead and let's hear from you.
Hey, good evening, everybody.
Mark, you need to speak a little bit louder.
Okay. I don't know if you can get me clearly. Can you get me clearly?
Go ahead, Mark. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Well, I'm currently taking a course on database administration, SQL Server data, Microsoft SQL Server database administration, and I think I'm going to complete the course around February, and I really want to continue my journey into IT, and I'm quite interested in either data engineering or data science. That's what I want to do. But considering the schedule you've given, I think I'm facing difficulties in that because I cannot enroll now due to how intense the course is. So I don't know how I can do to enroll in the course. Maybe later after my SQL course is over. And then the second question is, because I did the test here, and it told me data engineering. So I was thinking, but I'm really passionate about data science. So I was thinking, is there any advantage between those two, the data science or data engineering?
All right. Fantastic question. So first things first. Now, you got data engineering, and rightfully so. And that's simply because data engineering is very, very close to database administration. As a data engineer, what do? You build data pipelines. As a data engineer, you build data pipelines, you build data infrastructure, data warehouses, databases, and so on and so forth. As a database administrator, what do? You manage the database that has already been built, access control, and so on and so forth. You administer the database, just like the name implies. And I bet that's the reason why the recommendation, I would say, is properly tailored to the person you are. Because if you are doing database administration at the moment and you got data engineering, that's a perfect fit. Because these are career paths that are closely aligned to each other. So if you're asking, do I do data science? I always tell people that, look, you can do anything you want to do. Okay. You can get into any career path you want to get into. One of the first things you want to look at is, where am I coming from? Do I have transferable skills? Take, for example, if I'm speaking to an accountant, okay, or I'm speaking to somebody who is in finance, okay, one of the first things I want to ask is, do you want to take your finance accounting skills, combine that with data, and find yourself in different other career paths like financial planning and analysis, find yourself in a career path like financial analyst, commercial analyst, and so on and so forth. Now, if you're coming from a totally different background, say you studied biochemistry, there is no transferable skills from biochemistry into any of these other career paths. I studied industrial chemistry. There is no transferable skills from there into data analytics. So this is where you have to start right from the scratch and build yourself to that data analyst that you want to become, or in your own case, the data scientist. All right. So just ensure that this is what I want to do. I'm going to go for it. Okay. The program, the curriculum has been tailored with the beginner in mind. If you've never seen a code in your life before, and as a database administrator, definitely you would have seen SQL. You work a lot with SQL, SQL. But if you've never seen a code in your life, you can't become a data scientist, because the way the program is structured, you start from the very beginning. You understand statistics in data science. You start from there. You move to Excel for predictive analytics for the data scientists. Then you move to Tableau before you even move to anything like Python. So unlike so many other programs that I've seen, and somebody typed one of them in the chat when we just started, they start from Python. You can't want to become a data scientist and start with Python. You're going to go crazy. You're going to get frustrated because you don't have the background and the foundation. And I always love to tell people, if you're getting into data science and you start from Python, it's like you building a house and starting from the roof rather than having the right foundation. Okay, so to go back to our days, I'm going to come back to you, Max, but to go back to the lady who asked the question, I think Adaisi, I can't remember exactly. Now, this was a recent session that I held, one of the mentorship sessions, and beyond just the US, the UK, Canada, Nigeria, we have Europe. Okay, so you'd see EU startups. Now, why are these links tailored towards startups? So we had a session where if I apply to, say, one of the big fours, Deloitte or PwC, these are multinationals, big organizations. They're a little bit more competitive to get in. But if I target startups, maybe a 5-man startup, a 10-man startup where they've just gotten funding or thereabouts, and they're looking for somebody who is ready to work, who has the right skills, who is talented and ready to do the job, I'll get that job a lot faster. And this strategy has helped so many people. Okay, so what we do, or what I did, was to show different platforms where you have access to these jobs. Okay, so what I'd advise Adaise that asked the question, if you go to this special LinkedIn optimization session, you'd have access to that job board. Okay. But then again, would have more sessions and multiple sessions on that. But Max, I hope my answer provided some clarity for you. I don't know if that helped.
Yeah, your answer definitely helped.
Yeah. So you can go for data
Okay.
science. That perfectly works for you. Okay. All you need to do is just, like I said earlier, eliminate all the alternatives and focus on data science. And when you do that, you start your journey just like the way so many other professionals have learned. You would also get to learn, and you get that job eventually. Do you have a follow-up question for me, Max?
Yeah, like the first part of my question was due to the intense structure of the lesson.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So I want to advise you to combine your program with us with any other program. Okay. So you want to complete that, wrap it up, and then you can decide to come join your data science program with us, because our program is intensive, and you'd make presentations, you'd work on projects, you'd make presentations, you'd work on personal projects, group projects, and you're likely going to find your class clashing with your current program. And when you have that happen, you'd miss classes, you'd miss presentations, and that will not really be good for you at the end of the day. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I just I just noticed that from the timetable I saw on Saturdays, so I won't even be able. Yeah, so but like during that February, would there be another lesson? Like, would you guys take offer another course on the on data science?
Can you say that again?
I'm saying during February, will you guys offer courses on this data science so that immediately I just finish, I just get into it?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've had cohorts from January for the last 5 years, since 2020, when we found Tenalytics. We've had sessions every single month, every first Saturday of the month. 2025, for example, we started in January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. The next cohort, October 4th, the next November 8th, and then we have a cohort in December. The only difference is that the discounts running now would not be available at that point in time. And the fees are also changing in 2026. So that's the only difference. Okay. So if you intend to start, say, in January or February, maybe what you want to do, if you can, is you can still secure a discount. Okay. I know the time horizon is quite long for that, but maybe in December, you come back, secure a discount, whatever is convenient for you, so that you don't get into 2026. You have a discounted fee of $750, and then you see something else which might be a little bit more than you anticipated. But the fees will definitely change. That I can tell you for certain in 2026. And the discounts we have now might not be available at that point in time as well. All right.
Okay. Yeah.
Thanks for the question, Max. That was absolutely phenomenal. I said I was going to show you the people that the guys in Poland who he came in, got a job. His wife also his girlfriend also got a job after recommending her. And between them, they recommended over 25 other people from Poland. And then I'll bring back Kingsley. I know we're wrapping up in 5 minutes. Let me see that quickly. I'll see if I can find him. Yeah, that's him right there. So that's Benga. Okay. Benga got a job in Poland after training with us. I prepared Benga for his interview. Okay, so this was a conversation between myself and Benga. When he sent me that he got confirmed in less than 3 months. Okay, and his confirmation was 6 months, but he performed so well and he had all the supports. I was working with him on that, ensuring that he asked the right questions and got that done properly. So within 3 months, he got confirmed and he sent me this message. Thank you again for your inputs. Hello, Benga. Fantastic. Congratulations. Thank you, sir. Okay. So that's Benga from Poland. And then Benga recommended his girlfriend. I don't know if I can find her right here, but it's always an interesting story. I love telling the story whenever I can. I'll see if I can find her. If not, then we'll just move on to where you can get access to all our resources. I don't think I have her on this slide, unfortunately. Let me see. I don't have her on my slide. Not on this slide. Okay, not on this slide. I really thought I did have her here. Nope, she's not here. Okay, so interesting story. Recommended his girlfriend. She came in, joined our data science program, also from Poland, and she got a job as a people data scientist. People data scientist with QVC in Poland. For those who watch Shark Tank, you'd know QVC a lot. Okay, so where do you get access to all our resources? Where do you get access to all our resources? I'm going to show you that very quickly. At the end of today's session, you want to listen to all these amazing professionals. What do? Go to YouTube, search for Tenalytics. Okay, search Tenalytics on YouTube. You'd see the Tenalytics logo. Click on the Tenalytics logo. Make sure you subscribe, and it brings you here. Okay, go to playlists. Click on playlists. And under playlists, you'd see different resources over the last 5 years for free. You have access to all these resources. All right. What you want to do is go to where you have success stories, Tenalytics alumni job success stories. Okay. Click on that. And this is where every single person that has created a video to share their experience, you find them here. How Tenalytics helped me transition into data analytics, how Tenalytics helped me data analytics, business analysis, contract management analyst. This was a lady who was in HR, joined our business analysis program, moved to the US. She got a job as a HR business analyst. Okay. And so many other professionals. How I got a job, my post analytics career story. These amazing professional. I quit my banking job. Zainab, amazing professional. Got a job as a data manager. You want to watch this? Judith was a care worker. She went to her daughter's school to drop off her daughter in school. Then she met a friend who had completed Tenalytics program. Then Judith, her friend recommended Tenalytics to her. She joined our business analysis program, registered, and Judith was able to move from a care worker to a business analyst. Very interesting story. All right. So follow us on LinkedIn. Go on LinkedIn, search Tenalytics, follow us, Instagram, Facebook, X. And I look forward to working with every single one of you in your journey. Okay. So Kingsley, just a quick one before we wrap up. How many people do we have registered so far? Can we wrap up our session today? Time is fast spent. If you are still on the call, Kingsley. 16. So we have just 4 slots left. Thank you very much, Kingsley. I think time is fast spent already. If you've gotten value for your time today, okay, you've learned something new, you can advise somebody you know that needs to get a job, what you think they should start to do. Type a yes into the chat. Ruth, I'm going to send you a direct message. Okay, Ebenezer, thanks for that. I'm sending you a direct message, Ruth. I think I didn't see your hand up, and I also did not see your message in the chat, okay? But I just sent you a direct message. Send an email to that email, and I will listen to the question that you have and help you answer that question, okay? So 4 more slots for those who are interested to get their journey started in 2025. I look forward to working with you on the 4th of October, or for those who have chosen 8th of November. Smith and Moses, I won't be able to take your questions because of time. All right. I'm also going to send you a DM. I'll do that right now. Let me send you that right now, and then we call it a day. So just leave your hand up so I can easily see you. Just leave your hands up. Okay. So there is an attendant. So Smith, I just sent you a DM. Check that. And Moses, I'm going to do the same for you as well. Okay. Because your hands were up for a very long time. So just send your question to that email and I will answer your question. So thank you very much for spending your Saturday with me today. And I'm glad you got value for your time. I look forward to working with every single one of you. Follow me on LinkedIn. Let's engage and have an amazing time. All right. Enjoy your weekend. And I look forward to working with every single one of you. Cheers, everyone. And till we meet again in another session.